A lot more of our action footage that Japanese that we use.
All right, my question is for Matt. How did you feel going from Kamen Rider Dragon Knight to doing Mortal Kombat Reborn on YouTube as Johnny Cage? I want to know, man. You gotta tell us about that.
Kamen Rider was a really great experience because for the action sequences that we did in that in the show, it was really great to work with choreographers from Japan, working with Yuji and Koichi. It was outstanding to be able to put together like that type of choreography and work it for Johnny Cage. They really wanted like a harder edge, sort of an MMA feel. They wanted to make Johnny Cage like if he was almost a fighter like relevant in these days. So being able to work on like current like MMA type of fight sequences was cool. So I died, but but supposedly in the third movie that's not supposed to happen. So yeah, it was awesome. They were both great, just completely different experiences.
Hi guys, my first question is, can you elaborate on that? So my first question. My second question was for all you guys actually, if you watched any of the Kamen Rider series from 2001, if you did, please review all of you.
Well, me personally, I haven't really watched that much of it because we watched a lot of the reunions during the show. And I don't know if you ever had to watch a show over and over again. It gets much taxing. So and we watched I watched some fights and some couple of stuff just to get some ideas about which direction we want to go to. I don't really follow it that, at least for me, I don't follow it that much anymore. I'm more of a school.
I haven't watched that many either because other projects I have to do research for other things. But that was hilarious. I really enjoyed
it. Just an episode here or there for me. Nothing major, unfortunately.
Yeah, same here. I mean, Michelle Walsh was originally a paranormal journalist, and so I didn't want to know anything about the show, quite honestly, because I was supposed to be kind of clueless. And then when my character changed, I was like, damn, I better go and watch one of those.
My favorite from 2009 is Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
I really enjoyed Ryuki. That was awesome. Since, what the source material was based off of. But yeah, I think Kamen Rider Dragon Knight was pretty cool too. Just throwing that out there, everyone.
Yeah, same with me. I watched all the Ryuki series, but I did not catch any of the other series from since then.
There was one I watched with a bat. Yes, that's it. Okay, I was hoping somebody would help me out here, but that one was really cool. That was really interesting. Besides Kamen Rider, of course, holds dear to my heart, but that one was pretty cool. Plus, I love Batman too.
That's a tough question. But out of all the footage I've seen, I'd have to say by far the best acted, choreographed, produced, Emmy-winning show, Kamen Rider Dragon.
So I want to say thank you guys for coming. I love the show. And I also wanted to ask why Kamen Rider Ryuki, why did you guys choose that? And how did you guys get cast on it? I want to hear about Kamen Rider. Why choose Ryuki?
Okay, well, that I could take that. We did actually, at least the cast and crew and the production, did have anything to do with choosing the show. We were approached, my brother and I were approached by actors to make the show, and they had chosen Ryuki already before we were involved. And the reason that I was told was because there's 13 writers and you can make 13 books. So I think that's the marketing side of it. You know. So hopefully we'll put the other ones out. I was looking forward to it myself. But primarily it was for marketing reasons. The more writers you have, the more you can actually market. When we're casting any show, we put the breakdowns into the trades. All the casting officers get it, and they all just show up and they do the audition. The only time that was actually a little different, and I'm going to let Matt Mullins say this, was a kind of interesting story about how he came to our casting.
My mantra now for Hollywood. When I heard about the audition for the show, I tried to get into the audition through, you have an agent and manager, and they try to have them submit you to get on the project, or at least go into audition. I couldn't get in that way, so I went in to drop off my picture to Steve and Mike. I still didn't get a call. So I found out when the auditions were, I went in, signed in, and got the sides. And, I crashed the audition basically, and they cast me in the pre-show pilot. And after the pre-show pilot, I was lucky enough to be the only cast member that was kept on. And and that was that. So thank you. So crash, guys. Don't be afraid.
Another interesting story. I actually met Matt in Florida when I was shooting a commercial, and he came in to just show up and was helping with his John's work and one of the students. And so I remembered him from that, and I'm like, what this kid's doing? And so when I saw him come in to the audition, I'm like, yes. So we were very happy to have him, and the rest is history. So.
Keith Hayward, ladies and gentlemen.
Going down the line, I was going to ask, what are your inspirations that got you doing what you're doing and keep you doing what you're doing?
Well, for me, I mean, my main background as a kid is, and still now, I'm a special makeup effects feature designer and artist. And so what actually got me, introduced me to the sense of wonder and fantasy was Ultraman. I was 9 years old, no, I was 7 years old, living overseas in Taiwan. And I take a bus to school every morning, and one day there's this giant billboard of these silver guys with red stripes fighting these monsters, and I lost my mind. So in school, I was in 3rd grade, in school, I was talking to all my friends, like, oh, what's going on? Let's watch this movie. After school, I saw it 3 times that day. And that movie changed my life, and after that, I started to discover, wow, there's Kamen Rider, there's all these shows from China, and from that point on, I just fell in love with the whole Japanese superheroes. And then when I was 21, I got to meet Shotaro Ishimori in Japan. And it was amazing. Amazing experience. He was such a kind man. And he even told me, I was in better shape than 21, but he even told me that I look like a Kamen Rider, and I should go audition for it. So it's primarily my influence, you know, especially doing a show like this. Again, it was a dream come true because I followed it since I was a little kid.
My influence, I started out when I was a kid reading fantasy. I read Lord of the Rings back to back twice when I was 12, and I've read it, you know, all the time since. And just like every fantasy book, every comic book that I could get my hands on. And then movies. Star Wars came out when I was 12 years old, so I'm old. Star Wars came out when I was 12 years old, and that made me go, okay, I like writing. I want to do that kind of writing. I think I saw it 5 weekends in a row. You know, just every time when new ones came out the same day. So yeah, fantasy movies, science fiction movies just filled my brain. And when Steve asked me to write Kamen Rider, or do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I did. Guyver 2.
Geez, I started out actually, I think, early on I found out I could make people laugh. I was kind of a class clown, which is funny because then years later, I was in my mid-20s and I decided I'm going to be an actor, and I flew to LA and sold everything I owned and came out here knowing nothing. And I don't think I've done a lick of comedy. I'm a cop, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm a comatose dad. But it's funny now, yeah, there you go. I did, I thought I was going to be, either an action hero or a funny guy, but hey, I'm here and I'm still plugging away, and like Nathan, I'm not a young man.
I grew up in kind of an artsy house. My mother's a modern dancer, and I always played music, and I still play. That's really where my passion is on the keyboard. But I went to school, and I thought I'd get a regular job. I went to college, got my BA, and for a second I thought I'd do the foreign service, which is like working in embassies abroad, because I wanted to do something good. Because in college I really kind of gained a social conscience, and I wanted to promote good things and promote sharing and all the good things in life. So in any case, I got out of college, and all my friends were getting regular jobs and stuff, and I was like, do I really want to go to Enterprise, rent a car, and try to be a, I don't know. So I had some friends in LA, and I came out, and things started to happen, and basically I just want to use art to inspire passion, love, and courage, and I don't really care if it's through acting or music or whatever. That's kind of where my heart is.
Well, my mom and I used to watch old movies for hours and hours and hours, and cry and laugh, and she'd tell me who all the old stars were. So I fell in love with old movies, and so I've just always been inspired to act and write and in everything, theater, film, TV, commercial, whatever it may be. But one day, many moons ago, I was looking at an actor trade magazine, and I saw an ad for a movie called Guyver 2: Dark Hero. And it was, and I didn't even call my agent or anything. I was like, this is cool. Because it was in my martial arts day. I was training as a martial artist a lot at that time. So I wanted to play the bad person. I wanted to play the main female thug, and so I submitted myself in that, and I was all bummed out because they called me in on the lead, and I'm like, I don't want to play the lead. I'm going to play the, but it was fun because when I got there, I saw that the main bad girl was kind of she was a tough chick. I'm like, okay. So when this came up, I was really excited to work with these guys again. They're a blast.
Kid's dad, his backstory, he actually was a stand-up comedian. So. But my influences have been what Steve watched growing up. Steve's my older brother, and I grew up watching Ultraman, all those shows, and another show that we loved growing up was Robotech. We wish we had YouTube back then. YouTube back then, but when we missed an episode, we'd be so pissed. So when we were doing Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, we wanted to have that drama to it. We wanted the audience to care for the characters, which Robotech did. And so and the cast did amazing job.
We know. Let's see, I wanted to be an action star. First time I saw Terminator 2 when I was like 3 years old. My mom didn't quite understand that, and then I saw Power Rangers and I really wanted to be an action star. I think I dragged my grandmother to see that movie 5 times. She wanted to kill me. And then when I believe I turned 12, that's when I realized I wanted to have a girlfriend. So I'm like, what's a way to do that? Be a famous actor. And that kind of got the boat rolling, and it was kind of annoying. It's the ultimate cliche Hollywood story. I'm actually from the South, and then I came out here, and then I went to lived at the Oakwood. Oh dear God, yeah, the Oakwood, and then I got a manager, and I'm like here now. So that's my story.
For me personally, I always wanted to do martial arts since I was a kid because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I wanted to be Tommy, the Green Power Ranger. I wanted to be Jason David Frank. What's that? Yeah. He's huge. Have you seen him? Man, I haven't seen any of his fights, but my God. But then after that, I started martial arts. I really enjoyed performing and doing performance martial arts. And then I saw The Crow, and I wanted to be an actor. I saw it, and I wanted to be Eric Draven. And you know, I was so affected by that movie, and I wanted to affect people the same way. So, got on a plane and never went back to Chicago. That's it.
Keith, what's your question again? I'm joking. I think it was what keeps us inspired, or what inspires us. So, I thought it would always be fun to be in a sci-fi, fantasy. I mean, I love the fantasy genre, and actually when the audition came up for this, it didn't even say Kamen Rider Dragonite. It actually, I think it was Ventura County. Yeah, so my agent didn't really even know what it was, and once I met Steve and Mike, and they gave us all the info, that was really cool, because then we started to, you know, do our research as good actors and find out what it was. But you know, this show, looking back on it, it's really, I mean, it's really amazing to have worked with Steve and Nathan, and you know, everyone here was just so great to work with. I mean, you know, in the acting business, it can be, you know, interesting sometimes, but they were really great. So this show definitely kept me inspired to do more. Thanks, Steve and Mom.
Wow, hey. I never really wanted to be an actor, and I don't know how I got here. No, I never knew that you could do that for a living or something. And I was, although I do remember fondly watching all of Chuck Norris' movies when I was a kid. Wanted to kick butt, and which caused me to go to lots of martial arts classes and whatnot. But I was actually at UCLA getting my PhD in mechanical engineering, designing fusion energy systems for the Department of Energy, truthfully. And I had to give a lot of presentations to a lot of people, and it kind of made me shy, and I would get sweaty and start stuttering. And so I took an acting class that also might have pretty girls in it. And someone said, hey, there was a scene, I think I had to do some scene about a guy who lost his arm in the war. And someone said, hey, that was a pretty good scene. Do you want to meet this agent? And within a couple of weeks, I had a meeting. At lunch, I was studying for a test, and they said, do you want to go to CBS? And I went, and then a guy named Aaron Norris said, I want him. And they said to me, can you go to Texas on Friday? And I had midterms on Friday, so I said, sure. You bet. And then they said, oh wait, can you rollerblade? I never rollerbladed in my life, but I said, you bet. Great. And then I walked out the door, and he said, oh, Chuck, this is the guy for the episode. And it was Chuck Norris, and I was going to Texas to do an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger. My first job, and they picked me up in a limo, first limo I'd ever been in. And I flew there in first class, first time I ever had first class. And for 2 weeks, I got to run around and beat people up and play pretend and shoot guns. And I came back and I said, geez, I don't ever want to do that again. So since I'd skipped midterms, I really couldn't go back to school. And I went and played pretend and shot guns and beat people up for a living.